Okay, so that's what we just drove in the diesel, and now we're driving the same car in the V6 turbo petrol. Just a quick walk around of the car. It's a very tidy package. I'd never buy silver, but that's not what we're here about at the moment. This is the SQ5. So this is around, I think it's about $110,000 with the features we're looking at. We've got those nice, big, beautiful, bright red calipers on a big set of mags there. This one only has tints at the back. We can see this nice diffuser at the back with no exhaust pipes. That is, exhaust pipes actually come down from underneath the car. I kind of like that. That's what a lot of cars are doing these days. The very sleek and modern looking tail lights are very beautiful indeed. I do like what they've done there. The SQ5 in the beautiful V6. Look at this. Fantastic finish. You know, we're paying more for this, but what a finish indeed. You can actually program this button here to do these drive changes here, so that's good. This star here that you can program to do what you like, and in this instance you can do it to change it here, which I think that's fantastic. And the keyless start, you've got to hold it down a bit. Looking at the dash, nothing too impressive here. Again, I really don't like how this is here. It's too far forward. It needs to be here. This car does have the head-up display. Put the wipers on so we can see that a bit better. Audi has a very nice adjustable head-up display, and here we can actually see the here on the virtual cockpit. Other than that, we can see some beautiful suede leather here. Great finishes. Still the plasticky finish up here, but you're paying a little bit more for this car, and with that extra payment you are in fact also getting this flat bottom steering wheel, which, as I understand, it's signature to the Audi performance cars. Alright, so we're going to drive this thing for the first time. Something cool I just found: when I put it in reverse, the rear wiper automatically went on, knowing that obviously I've got to go backwards, and the rear wiper automatically cleared the screen for me. I thought that was fantastic. So I really like this huge tachometer right in the front of the center of the dash. You can feel it's really sporty. This thing sounds absolutely wonderful. I'm just going to press this star button now to see the modes change. This is a much beefier sounding engine. Still a 3-litre, but of course, because this is petrol, we're going to get a different tune out of it. At first, a little bit of road noise. Right, let's see what this can do. Oh, there we go. Oh, here we go. And that sounded wonderful. So we've got a great sound here. We've even got a little boost gauge down here. So if we look down on the screen here, I can see that the boost. You can actually see this boost gauge. That's a standard boost gauge. I like that. Not many cars come out with that. Going here to the center console, we can see it's very much the same as before. We've got this nice little leather, tiny little leather booty over there, which is very small. Auto start stop. I didn't like that. That's a difference. I noticed when the car started, the windscreen wipers paused for a second. That's a little programming fault. BMW doesn't do that. So if you have an auto start stop, I'm really picking at tiny things here, but again, we're talking about cars in the 6 figures. When that went from auto stop to auto start, the windscreen wipers tripped over themselves as in they stopped for a second. That's not cool. It's not life-shattering, but it is just something I pick up. If you look at these indicator stalks are in fact the same as what you'll see on a Bentley. So if you buy a $500,000 Bentley, I'm talking in Australian dollars, you'll get these exact same indicator stalks with slightly different stickers. Alright, now we're going to do another speed test here. I'm going to change the drive mode to, what are we in at the moment? We are currently in comfort, so I'm going to go to dynamic, which I can hear the engine drop down. This already feels a little bit more aggressive, and we're going to do a test now from say from 70 kilometers an hour to 80 kilometers an hour. Here with no gear change, let's see what happens. When I went from 70 to 80 and I tromped it had to drop down 3 gears, and that took a long time. That, again, I'm comparing to an expensive car, but that took a while to do that, so I'll do that one more time, but now I'll do it manually. So I'm going to drop the 3rd gear. I've done this manually, then I tromp it, down changes, indicator on. We're going to go a little bit aggressive around this roundabout. Roundabouts are great. I've got a positive camber on the roundabout, so I should slip away a little bit. Here we are, I'm in 1st gear, holding it as 1st, feeding through, tiny bit of understeer, and away we go. Again, we've got all-wheel drive. Should probably give way to this car so we don't do anything. That's alright. Let the little Honda go through, also in an SUV. There goes an CRV. And the sound of this is just absolutely gorgeous. Comparative to the diesel, I'm highly impressed. Changing the gears in this, you can hear that real aggressive conk between each gear where you've got a little tiny blow-off valve. The issue, of course, if you're like me, you like a sexy car, and this isn't really a sexy car, but you're also like me, you're getting a bit older and you kind of get over the image and you want a sleeper being something that doesn't look so aggressive but can actually perform. Here we go around the corner again. And in the olden days, you wanted paddles on the steering column because you turn the wheel 2 or 3 times and you could actually forget where the steering wheel is. But because here you only have to cross over to here and you're almost on full lock, you don't necessarily need the paddles on the column. However, I acknowledge entirely this is a personal preference, but my personal preference is I want to ride on my steering wheel road, and I'll put that back on there. In the off-road, I can actually see the angle of the car there. That's kind of cool. I don't know how to keep that on there, but I'll figure that out later. I'll press that start button again and I'll go back to, let's try auto. So now I'm in the auto mode, so this should figure it out. Flat bottom steering wheel. I'm really not in a position to say if I like it or hate it or not. I did kind of enjoy it then when I was flogging around the corner. You can kind of grip it a bit better. But if you're drifting, I'm not saying that many people would drift, especially in an all-wheel drive car. If you're a drifter, you don't actually want to have a flat bottom steering wheel. But what is good, as a tall guy, I'm 6'3", it's about 189 centimeters tall. When you get in and out of a car, this gap is actually quite handy to get in and out of. So I do like that. So going into the interior now that we're at a red light, if you look here, we've got a charging station. I've tested my phone on that before, and that charging station seems to work pretty well, only if you've got no cover on it. This is nothing against Audi. This is a limitation of wireless charging. If you've got a cover on your phone, you can't use it. If we go into the center console, that's a really heavy lift. I don't know why it's so heavy. It's like is there something I should be pressing? I don't even know what's making a crunchy sound, but that's a really heavy lift. And here we've got an auxiliary 3.5mm female jack opening, as well as a USB opening here. We can also see a USB port here, a few controls here. This is a downhill descent control, pretty standard in an SUV. I don't know what that button does. Oh, that button turned off the center screen. Here we've got the auto start stop button. These are pretty standard buttons. Drive select, parking, auto parking, so we can do the auto parking as you do. And here we go again, we've got a green light. I'm in auto mode, so we're going to do another tromp from 0 to 30 k's an hour, dropping it to M2. Let's go to 100. A nice red line, this really is. Now looking at the interior here, I'm going to actually go back to comfort mode, press the start button, drop it down to, I've got dynamic, individual, so I'm going through this off-road, efficiency, comfort, there's a lot of modes there. Auto, which you'd probably leave it in if you didn't care. Dynamic and individual, I can do a bit of tweaking there. But let's just go to efficiency, so we'll go to the slowest mode, which is efficiency there. Don't think this is a touch screen, no it's not. That's fine, I don't like touch screens because they leave fingerprints everywhere and it's ridiculous. But looking here at the stereo, we've got a lot of speakers. We've got a speaker up here, a little tweeter up here, a little tweeter down here as well. There's probably a sensor speaker in there. This is a really quick review, so I haven't read all the stuff. Little digital display on the actual individual controls there. That's gorgeous. I think that's such a great idea, and I think we'll see more and more of this. Again, these pre-programmable buttons here and the touchpad. BMW first sort of came up with this on their iDrive system. They have it here on theirs. I'd probably have to get used to putting my hand here. Going down here, you have volume. That's a long way away from me, but that doesn't matter because I've got my volume controls here. So if I've got my partner or friend who wants to play with the volume, it probably makes sense that it's closer to them over there. And here we've got a little, I'm not sure what you'd store here. You could probably put your phone in there vertically, or here. So you could slide down there. There you've got your drink holders. Big bins down here, as mentioned before. I can lock the back windows because this is technically a family car. Good position up here. What I hate about Audi and Mercedes is these bloody stocking sunroof covers. So here we can see there we had that issue again. If you notice when I just started the car, it twitched, it paused. So when we're going auto start stop, that's actually poor programming. BMW doesn't do that. But when you go from auto stop start, you don't want to have a twitch in your system. You don't want your stereo turning off and your windscreen wipers turning off, and you don't want your sunroof screen turning off. So that's just poor programming. From a luxury car, you can fix that, and there's no need for it. Now, the reason why I don't like these stockings, and I call them stockings because they're bloody transparent sunroof covers, is that I live in Australia, and Australia gets bloody hot, and this ridiculous mesh on a very hot day means you've still got a degree of sun coming through. Even with the tinted glass, even with the mesh on top, you still have this sun coming through and annoying you. That's one thing. The other thing where BMW does it better is that on days like today when it's raining, rain hitting your car makes noise. So when you have this that has absolutely no insulation quality whatsoever, rain hitting the glass, there's no soundproofing here. And if you look at the BMW's sunroof, the cover it's actually a thick padded solid unit, and that thick padded solid unit reduces sound. So I actually am not big on sunroofs anyway. I don't really see there's much purpose in them. I mean, each to their own, but they add weight to the car, they're dangerous for rollovers, and in a car like this, when it's going to allow the sun to come in and annoy you, I don't want to be part of it. I don't see any value in it at all. Of course it's a rougher ride because this is the SQ5, so it's got a more aggressive ride to it. Just look at the screen here in the wet. This is actually a downfall. See, I'm in the wet and I've pressed reverse. I can't actually see anything. I can't see anything because there's water everywhere. Now in my BMW, and with some other cars, my camera is tucked away so it doesn't actually get wet. So when I put it in reverse in the rain, it's still got a clean lens. It's got a clean lens because the lens has been hidden from everything that's been hitting it on the road. So that's actually a bit of a limitation. Into reverse here, windscreen wiper at the back automatically goes on. I do like that. Here we are reversing again. This doesn't have the bird's eye view or the surround view as we can see, but that's just a feature you can add on. That's nothing against this car in particular. Most cars have that added on. But you can see now, looking at that screen, I can't see anything. I can't see anything at all. So I'm actually looking over my shoulder to make sure I don't hit anything. But we do have those sensors that you can hear are coming up there. So no biggie there. Just a quick look at the screen. I'll put that in park. Change the view here. We can change what's coming up on the left here. I noticed that center console, the center tacho, I really like that. That's big and aggressive, and you'd expect that in a sports car. And then of course I could probably change the view from here if I flick through it a bit more. I can't be sure I can get rid of this center one. Surely I can, but it doesn't seem to be changing. So this is just a quick review. I would play with this more and find out. The sound of this car is great, very comfortable. I've got the seat warmers on and they're working perfectly. Here we've got another little storage bay here. Nice big glove box. We think, yeah, that is quite a big glove box, which is hitting the passenger there. Sorry about that, passenger. That's horrible. See, this is cheap. I don't like when cars do this. So what they've done here is, obviously this is a right-hand drive car. So if you look over here, you can see that's for the lock buttons here. And being a car that you can buy in two markets, left and right hand drive market, they've clearly just made a panel over here and said, well, depending on the market that we're in, we'll just leave the panel blank there. I don't like that at all. Down here we can see that there's one panel missing, so that would be some feature that I could probably buy. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure I could pay for it. And I am noticing that I'm getting a lot of noise from that rear windscreen wiper. Alright guys, we'll stand by for the next vehicle. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.